Howdy y'all, thank you for joining us today for this unboxing of Bloodborne, the board game. It's a big box, so sorry I'm going to have to be zoomed quite a bit out here, but as you can see here, we'll try to zoom in when we're looking at stuff in particular. As you can see, this is kind of looking like a miniatures dungeon delvey game. One of the things that interests me, even though I'm not a I should say I'm not a fan. I just haven't really played the video game. But when I'm looking at this, one of the things that interests me is they got like kind of a storytelling element to the game, or mission based. So it's like a dungeon delve, kind of almost looks like choose your own adventure in some ways. But we will see. But yep, as you can see there, it tells you all the components. Tells you it's a 1 to 4 player game for ages 14 plus. That'll take 60 to 90 minutes to play. It is kind of a heavy game from CMON. It is CMON, so we should hopefully see some nice miniatures for sure. Alright, so you can see official license, PlayStation. Like I said, it is a big box, so let's see what's inside once we get it open, and we'll start zooming in to get a better look at everything. Oh. Alright. Oh. Alright. Free CMON content if you scan that. Definitely will scan, well, yep. We'll scan that and see what's up. Alright. We got the board game here. Or the board game. We got the rule book here. Table of contents. Scared already. Alright, overview, table of contents, components, we can see tons of miniatures. Alright, campaigns, setup, one hunter setup, chapter setup, so it looks like most of this book might be set up. Alright, advancing through the hunt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep. So it looks like about, actually it looks like about 13 pages of rule books, and then you get to rules, and then you get to additional rules, how to progress your campaign, saving your progress and whatnot. And then it's got a glossary here in the back. So not overly too much. A lot of cardboard here. We got a bunch of little stuff that could definitely do with some upgrades, but looks like we got some characters here, and they are all double-sided. Looks the same on each side. Alright, we do got tiles, which made me think it felt kind of like a dungeon delving game. As you can see, each tile kind of has like a special ability or something that goes on here. Like this one's got a healing ability in the cathedral, and then these have the same backs on the back, so maybe a random stack, which would be cooler than most. Like, I like dungeon delves that build themselves to where you don't have to have someone run against you. But man, when you got to dig through tiles and try to find I will say these are already coming out, which is a good sign. But when you're trying to find particular tiles in general, and you got to dig through a bunch of tiles, oh, that frustrates me. So like, just having a random stack can be pretty cool. Sorry, I'm not showing y'all the backs, because as I'm flipping them over in the lid, they are the same backs, just when I go to flip them and they kind of want to pop out. So these are popping out very easily, which is nice. Oh. Alright, what do we have here? It is nice. I mean, it's not super thick, but it is, you can tell, it's got, this could take a licking for sure, I think. But yep, as you can see here, the enemy spots, the hunter's dream, what chapter you're in, some place to put the cards. Oh man, I can get it out of there. That's probably all the miniatures. Oh, and then, oh. Alright, I'll show y'all. Let me get this out of the way. Looks like there's a nice insert that was underneath that. Not as thick as I thought. Stack all the cards over here. Got these, and then the miniatures. Alright. well, we'll go through these real fast. Alright. See what the characters here looks like. And I do know the way this game works is you're going to be going through, adding cards to here, and when they do get the cards there, you will be flipping it over and going to the other side. So some of your stuff may or may not be available till then. At least that's the way it was described to me. So some of your attacks, and then some of your attacks can be enhanced with certain weapons. So there's the characters. And then, well, these all have the same back, and there's 4 of them, so I'm assuming, once again, for the players, we got a hunter dashboard, and these all look the same. Yep. Alright. Just the different colors, as we got green, blue, purple, red. And just show you, there is a nice insert in here. It looks like that everything can hold all the different cards. Oh, is that something underneath the insert? I did see something. Oh, no, there's just something up. There's just a little piece of cardboard that kind of helps the insert a little bit. Alright. Now the next test will be whether these cards can go in here with sleeves. We will see. Alright. It kind of already lets you know what's in here miniature-wise. We are going to pop this open, though. Take a look at them. It says the top tray and the bottom tray have different things. So there's 2 trays in here. Did notice it says free digital content on that box. So that's pretty cool. Here's the little markers. I guess so that you can put the heroes, what looks like their miniatures here, on these little things, so that you know which color, who's playing what color. Alright. Okay. I thought that was 2 different trays. I was like, it said only 2 trays, but it looks like there's 2 different trays here. And you can kind of get some detail here. I'll try to pull some of these out, get a better look at some of these miniatures. I mean, that's one thing for sure. CMON does go all out on their miniatures for the most part. And make them look really good. To me, I like the gameplay of some of their games too. It just seems like some of their gameplay, it seems like they harp too much on the miniatures, but there's definitely some CMON games I really enjoy a lot. So, and the miniatures all make it better, I guess. I mean, I guess I can't complain too much, since I'm one of those ones who complains about cardboard and has to replace it with stuff. So if you're giving me nice miniatures to enhance the game, that makes me happy. Alright, let's look at this other tray. And sorry, I'm trying to see if if this camera is focusing pretty well or not as we're looking at these miniatures. I'm just showing you one miniature of each that look the same, and kind of give you a look at each of them. And then hoping the tray just keeps the camera in focus. Here. Oh, I guess I was just kind of sitting there. This is definitely different. See if I can get it by the bottom so we can see the other side there. This is probably going to be a long one, just because we still got to go through all the cards. Well, there is a story element cards. We're not going to go through each of those. That way it doesn't spoil anything for anybody. So we'll just be flipping through like the weapons and stuff like that. Alright. The main one they keep showing off. Man, this one's heavy actually. That one has a lot of weight to it. So yeah, some really nice miniatures there. Now let's take a look at the cards. Alright, first thing we're going to go through is the biggest and the smallest. Our biggest of the cards with the smallest stack. These look like it's player aids and probably the bad guys, because this looks like what goes up at the top. So right off the bat here we have the player aids, which shows you all the actions and stuff. I love when games do this. Just makes it so much easier so you can just look at stuff. Lets you know effect keywords. There should be 4 of those, yep. Alright, and we got the bad guys, yeah, the monsters. Basically, there's probably these for each miniature, I'm assuming. So we got the hunter mob here. Yep, they are definitely different. I don't know if that's kind of like what yours, with your board where they're going to flip, or if they're just going to come down with different type of stuff. We got the Huntsman's Minion here. We got a Scourge Beast. Hopefully we don't hit some words that are going to make me sound like an idiot. Or at least more like an idiot. Church Servant. We got the Male Beast Patient. And we have the Female Beast Patient. The Church Giant. Old Hunter de Jura. Like I said, I'm sure I'll butcher a word or two here. Alfred Hunter of Vilebloods. De Jura's Ally. Eileen the Crow. Iosefka. Old Hunter Henrik. So these might be the heroes, no? Maybe? Oh. Blood Crow of Canehurst. As far as I know, there's already, I mean, should have known it's CMON, but there's already expansions for this. I want to say there's 2 that we have that I'm going to try to do an opening on. Alright. So it looks like this is the next smallest stack. Alright, we got the Cleric Beast Phase 2 here. Phase 1. Alright, so I probably got this upside down. How about we look at this the right way? We got a repeating pistol here. Rosmarinus. I don't know if these... Yep, these are different. Front and back. Ludwig's rifle, as far as like abilities. So I think if I remember right, these flip just like your player boards can flip. Or maybe it's if you level them up. It'll be definitely something worth looking into for sure. And it's got some interest here for me. Alright. And then we got Phase 1, Phase 2. Phase 1, Phase 2. For these big baddies. Alright. And next, the next biggest cards are, they look standard-ish, but we're not going to flip through each of these. I'm just going to kind of open these and see if they have the same back, because these are kind of story cards, and I'll kind of show, we'll at least show kind of how this, I think, works, basically. So you got the different stories here. You got the Secrets of the Church, and you have the Long Hunt, Fall of Old, yeah, I'm not even going to try to say that one, and Growing Madness. Yarnum? I would say Yarnum. Harnum. Maybe the Y's silent. But the way these work is, like I'll show this one. So it's got the introduction. You would read through the introduction and whatnot. And then it's got the setup for the first chapter for this story. So it's got the setup there. And then it's got the missions. And when you finish the missions here, it tells you which card to go to depending on what you finish off there, or how you like. If you end your move on the Great Bridge tile, reveal card 6. If you end a move on the, so it's gonna have a story that's gonna basically go through, and then you can see the cards are back. The backs of the cards. Say your words. You can see the backs of the cards have numbers on them. So depending on how the story goes, you're gonna go to that number and progress the story. Now, whether that's got the replayability, we will have to play and find out. But that, I will admit, like I said, I wasn't 100% interested in the Bloodborne thing just because I didn't play the video game. Just due to time, not anything that I think's bad about it. Just didn't have time to get to the video game. So, seeing this and knowing that there could be these decks, this reminds me of the Star Wars Outer Rim, which is done by Fantasy Flight. And I love that element. I love the story to be able to go through it. So, I'm definitely going to take a look at this and see what that's all about. I'm assuming these are all the same. I'm just going to quickly rip these open and flip through and just see if they all say the Growing Madness. So as you can see, it's got the Growing Madness and the introduction there. Yep. The Fall of Yarnum. Let's see. I'm assuming these are all going to just be the story. And yeah, Falling Arnhem or Harnum. And then we got the Long Hunt. Now, as to which of these is first, I do not know. I would assume the Long Hunt, but maybe they're all level based. We'll see what the book says. Alright, last of the cards to go through. We have small cards, which I'm assuming are all the items and things you can pick up within the game. We'll go to the smaller one first here, just like always. Kind of give you a look at all that. So there's a lot of cards in this game. So definitely worth your value, I think. Alright, so we got... And on the backs of these, kind of tells you what they do. As you can see, there's a ton of different items here. I guess that's... Well, I was wanting to show y'all. I'm not going to flip over each one, but we'll kind of flip through these quickly and then kind of go through the other side quickly so you can kind of see what they each do, if that's what you're interested in seeing. Because you can kind of just pause. You can see the name. If there's one in particular you want to see what it does, but you can kind of pause and see what each one of those do. Alright, this says consumables, so I'm assuming these are like potions or bandages type things. Yep, all of them are the same back, so we can kind of flip here and you can kind of see. So this might be a random deck where it just basically you get some consumables that you can randomly use within the game, or you might find them as you're playing the game, I'm assuming, once again. But yeah, some interesting thing here. I love the artwork. I can tell you right now, I do love the artwork. The story already had me wanting to play it. I would wish I had time to play. I know I popped one of these open. Did I miss this one up? No, I felt it right there. Wish I had time to try the game. But I've also heard it's one of those games kind of like Dark Souls where do I want to stress through that? Alright, we got enemy actions here. Get the different card backs. Okay, so these look like this might all be the bad guys. Man, that has some interest to me, kind of like the Gloomhaven-y feel, where the bad guys are going to have an enemy action deck and what they do, and then depending on the phase of each monster, they're going to do different actions or have different attacks, maybe. Or maybe they just show them all. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just kind of flipping through these quickly. You can see, like, there's the double slash for that. Man, I just noticed something. This card's pretty bent. I mean, yeah, I'm flipping through these, but that wouldn't have been enough to bend that card. And the next one's not bent. So that's interesting. I'm just trying to look for one of these. Okay, so they're just different attacks, it looks like. Sorry, I was looking down and not looking at the camera screen to see if all that wasn't just a big old blur. But yeah, so there's just a ton of attacks for each one. For each of the big baddies, it looks like. Yeah. And then enemy actions, so probably says, oh. They do their ability, they do a special, basic. Alright. Alright, so let's see what these are all about. I'm assuming... I thought this was supposed to be kind of a deck builder game also, from what I understand. So these are probably the actual deck that you're going to build your stuff out of, hence all the backs are the same. Sorry, I kind of slit these open a little ahead of time, but sometimes I'm too careful to make sure I don't mess up the cards. So now I have problems finding all those. Yeah, so these all have the same back. So this is probably the deck building element. I don't know which of these are the starters. Probably the ones that all look the same. And I'm not sure how the deck building element of this goes. Well, these have back colors. Like these are green. I saw the purple. There's the blue. I'm wondering if these are your starter cards. And then the blacks are possibly the things where you can get or upgrade your deck. Now, I don't know if it's one of those things where you upgrade it as you go, or if it's a, well, these are green too. So maybe each character has their own way to upgrade. I'm sorry. I see the camera acting wonky, actually. But, alright. And, I mean, I wasn't going to look at all the cards, but it was just kind of like a fast overview of them. Alright, we'll definitely get this to the table. We'll try it out, see what it looks like. Let me look at the insert, see if it looks like these might have room to sleeve along with once you put them in there. I mean, there's a little bit of playroom, but it's not too much. It looks like you could definitely sleeve it sidewise if you get the right ones. Top-wise, you want to probably make sure you get one that fits the card perfectly, I'm assuming, because it just... There's a little bit of playroom, but not a lot. Alright. Well, thank you for watching, and have a great day.